For Ryan Tannehill, the shadows of history remain his most daunting opponent. Only two men in the history of this franchise have served longer in the game's most demanding position, and each owns a legacy of success that has yet to be replicated.
Dan Marino becomes the all-time leader in pass completions.
As he prepares for this, his sixth season behind center, Ryan Tannehill knows full well the expectations that will be placed upon him. He embraces both the challenge and the opportunity.
I want to win a championship. That's why I'm here. I'm doing everything I can, but it starts at the quarterback position.
End zone touchdown, dives over.
Filling the shoes of two Hall of Fame quarterbacks has to date been a task too tall for any of those who have followed in their footsteps. Is Ryan finally ready?
Back to throw, looking downfield, firing, Stills, touchdown Miami.
The dress rehearsal is at hand, and the echoes of eras past continue to resonate with the fans of a franchise who await their successor.
And we're back here showing the sideline of the Miami Dolphins and Ryan Tannehill, who had his career best numbers in 2016 before missing the final 3 games with a knee injury. Well, tonight's weather report is presented by Audi, and it has been raining steadily for the last 3 hours or so. It is humid and it is warm as we send it down to the fourth and maybe the key member of our team, Kim Bocamper.
Well, Dick, I can tell you it's also wet down here. It's going to be wet all night long. But one of the things we get an opportunity today maybe is see Frank Gore get his first opportunity to get some carries with the Miami Dolphins. Now, there's been a buzz since the Dolphins brought Frank Gore into this franchise. Players, fans, everybody anxious for the guy. This is a guy that came out of Coral Gables High School, one of the best high school running backs I've ever seen in my life. Went on to an illustrious career at the University of Miami. Now he's a Hall of Fame, future Hall of Famer here, and the Dolphins get an opportunity. And he talks about playing in this game. Now, Adam Gase doesn't really want him to play in this game, but Frank Gore has talked and chirped so much about getting into the game because he wants to earn the respect of his players. I can tell you this, whether he plays tonight or not, he has already earned the respect of every player in this football team. Every running back goes for him for advice. They listen to everything he says. Now he's going to get a chance to get on the field and play. And everyone hold your breath. Let him just get out there, get a few plays, and save him, put him on the shelf for the regular season. But it's going to be fun to see Frank Gore in a Dolphins uniform out here tonight, fellas.
Well, the best thing you can say about him, Bo, is that he's a professional. And he has been throughout his career. And the Ravens won the toss. They'll receive as to Janarian Grant back deep, rookie from Rutgers. Jason Sanders will kick off for the Dolphins. It's been quite a battle between these two rookie kickers. Sanders from New Mexico, a 7th-round draft pick, and later on we'll see Greg Joseph, the undrafted rookie from nearby Florida Atlantic. Set to go. The Ravens are 3-0. This is their 4th preseason game. They played 3 games in the last 11 days, and Grant will return it from the 5-yard line, and a good return by Grant as he gets beyond the 30-yard line. And Robert Griffin III will start at quarterback. Joe Flacco has had an outstanding preseason, but with the rain, John Harbaugh doesn't want to use many of his starters. We'll see which do. Played in only 5 games since the 2014 season, and RG3, former Heisman Trophy winner, back in 2011. And there is Joe Flacco, who has 2 touchdowns, healthy now after tearing his ACL in 2015. Alex Collins starts off at the setback, and it's going to be a quick throw, and it's going to be a completed pass on the right side to Janarian Grant, who returned the kick, and he gets about 8 yards.
It looked like it could have turned into a big play, Dick. One of the things that the Dolphins want to do is not give up big plays. Good job of the defense rallying to the football to hold him to just a 8-yard gain.
RG3 began his career with the Redskins, struggled there, also got hurt a little bit with the Browns. Now he's trying to become the backup to Flacco. Lamar Jackson will see him, the rookie from Louisville, later on. 2nd down and 2 in the running play. Alex Collins, he'll get the first down as he gets to the 45-yard line. So for the Miami Dolphins, we look at the linebackers, Kiko Alonso has been steady, but there are really two first-year players in Raekwon McMillan and Jerome Baker, who's the rookie. McMillan, of course, did not play last year with a torn ACL on the opening kickoff for preseason, so it's an inexperienced starting linebacking core. 1st and 10 at the 46. And it's going to be Collins, and this time the Dolphins pursue well, and a loss of 2 yards on the play thanks to Devon Godshaw, who is starting. He'll rotate with Jordan Phillips at defensive tackle.
Those two linebackers you were talking about, McMillan and Baker. Baker is a rookie, and as you mentioned, McMillan was hurt last year in the first preseason game and did not play. Both of those guys are from Ohio State, and both of them are outstanding players.
Kenneth Dixon now is the running back, and they have him wide out to the left, so an empty backfield on 2nd and 12. Griffin in trouble. Flag is down, and now Griffin is going to be held up, and the whistle blows. That was Robert Quinn, who had 2 sacks last week against Cam Newton, but a penalty marker down, and it may be against the Ravens.
You know what a difference it makes with Robert Quinn now back to a defensive end. He played some linebacker.
Well, Godshaw, hands to the face, an illegal hit. You were saying that.
Well, you know, for folks that don't know much about Robert Quinn, last year he played a little linebacker instead of defensive end. There's the hands to the face by Devon Godshaw. But there you see Robert Quinn coming around, using that quickness and that athleticism that he has that led him to 16 sacks one season.
So that's a first down on the defensive penalty at the 49 of the Ravens. And here's Dixon trying to go outside, and he is taken down by the safety T.J. McDonald, and good penetration by Jordan Phillips as well. Tonight's game is presented in high definition, courtesy of BrandSmart USA.
You know, Dick, we talked in the open about what the Dolphins need to get better on offense and defense. With Godshaw, that penalty, we need to get better with penalties too. Not only was that a penalty, but it negated a sack of the quarterback.
2nd and 9 at the 50, it sure did. And on the handoff, it's Gus Edwards who's come in the game. And Edwards with a neat run. Looks like he may be close to a first down. Fitzpatrick finally brought him down, the rookie from Alabama. So Gus Edwards from Rutgers, undrafted rookie. And then now we're going to see a lot of Minkah Fitzpatrick in the nickel position at corner.
And guys, this is all Gus Edwards. There's several Dolphins that have a shot at him, and he just does a nice job of picking his way, reversing his field, and picking up the first down yardage.
So now the Ravens are on the Dolphin 40-yard line. Fake a run, and the pass is broken up nicely by T.J. McDonald. And McDonald, it looked like the receiver, in this case, Mark Andrews, might have made the catch, but McDonald was going to have nothing of it, and it's incomplete, bringing up 2nd down.
TJ's the free safety, 6'2" and 225 pounds, and he comes and drops the load on him.
Good quick reaction by TJ as he's able to come over. There you can see that the tight end never had possession of the football, but nice defensive play by TJ.
2nd and 10, and Chris Moore on the end around, and they get good yardage on this play before Rashad Jones brings them down, a pickup of 7 yards, and it'll be 3rd down and short. So the Dolphin defense in for a key 3rd down situation here, Nat.
Yeah, here we go again. You know, they've been able to stop the big play, but they still have not gotten off the field. So let's see if they can get it done this time.
John Harbaugh in his 11th season, playoffs in 6 of his first 10. Won a Super Bowl. He's been a very successful coach with the Ravens. So it's now 3rd down and 3. And the quick pass, they're going to take a shot here, and it's going to be overthrown. Rashad Perriman was the intended receiver, and Minkah Fitzpatrick was with him defending. And so the Dolphins get the job done. They get off the field as Nat Moore talked about early, and Justin Tucker will come in to try a field goal.
Nice job by Minka of running with the receiver, making a difficult throw for RG3.
So Justin Tucker, the NFL's most accurate kicker all time at 90%, trying a 51-yard field goal.
All time?
All time.
This guy is good.
Better than good.
Not this time.
We jinxed him, didn't we?
Yes, we did. All three of us. You're not 100%. I said 90. There's some margin. Ryan Tannehill starts again. Those are his numbers. They've been pretty good. His longest play was the first play of the preseason opener. But the Dolphins starting offense still looking for their first touchdown in preseason. And they have an inviting field position, guys, starting from the 42.
This is his 7th year, Tannehill. He started the first 77 games when he was a rookie through his first 4 or 5 years, and then he had that injury last year.
And he loses control of the ball trying to get it out to Kenyon Drake, but falls on it smartly. And a loss of 6 yards.
Forgot that it was raining, and he's got a wet ball to throw. Makes a difference.
Here's another look at it as he gets set to throw the football. It just comes right out of his hand, and he's got Kenyon Drake with a blocker out front.
Well, Frank Gore is making his debut right now. He's come in the game. He finally got into Adam Gase's ear. I want to play. He's in the game, and he's going to carry, and he's going to lose. He's going to be knocked back by Brent Urban, the defensive end, and he didn't have any room to begin with. So after a loss of 6, another loss of 3 this time.
You better talk to one of those offensive linemen up there. One of them didn't block this guy.
Yeah, he comes clean. You know, the left guard, or excuse me, the center was not Jesse Davis. Is the guy that actually missed the block.
Yeah, right guard.
3rd down and 18. Frank Gore, the 5th all-time leading rusher in the National Football League, age 35. For Miami all the way. Growing up here, and the screen pass is caught by Gore. They just get about a yard beyond what the original line of scrimmage was. And Patrick Owasso, the weak side linebacker, makes the stop, and so it'll be 4th down.
Not a good,
Nope.
not a good opening series for the offense.
Matt Hawk will be kicking, and Janarian Grant. A couple of rookies from Rutgers. We saw Gus Edwards, the running back, as Grant, also from Rutgers. Undrafted rookie. So good field position, and they went backwards. This is a kick, and Grant is going to run it and get hit. That was an invitation for a fair catch, but he didn't, and Jerome Baker makes the tackle on special teams and makes a good one. So the Ravens begin their 2nd series on offense when we return to Hard Rock Stadium. And we're back here at Miami Gardens, and to listen to tonight's game in Spanish, be sure to enable the secondary audio programming, or SAP, button on your viewing device. SAP services tonight are brought to us courtesy of Duffy's Sports Grill. No score. Nearly halfway through this first quarter. Robert Griffin III leading his team now from the 25, 1st down. Play action, and Griffin trying to get away is put down by Jordan Phillips. Phillips has made an effort here and has played well, and for more, let's go down to Kim Bokamper.
All right, this player profile brought to you by the Ed Moore Sawgrass Auto Mall. And speak of the devil, we're going to focus on Jordan Phillips, the 4th-year defensive tackle out of Oklahoma. He's a guy that's coaches are looking for a little more consistently from him. Phillips has flashed at times, overpowering blockers. He's even shown a knack for making big plays. Got an interception right down here a couple of years ago where he leaped a guy and went for about 23 yards. So he's got great athletic ability. He's got great size. And at times, as I said, he can be overpowering. There he is getting on a play right there. Problem with him is he has a tendency to get his intensity and let it wane a little bit and not getting that full effort. Dolphins keep trying to prod him. If he can get that job done, he'll be a starter. If not, he's going to be in a mix with a lot of the guys in this defensive tackle spot.
He's asking to come out after 2 plays.
Well, it's all right. I'll tell you what, Minka Fitzpatrick did a great job on Kenneth Dixon on the screen pass and a loss of 4 yards on the play. I'll tell you what, Fitzpatrick is going to be a centerpiece for this defensive unit. You can play him so many places. So it'll be 3rd and 17 back at the 22-yard line. Gus Edwards is in at running back. Pressure, and they pressure on the quarterback Griffin, and the pass is caught.
Once again, Minka Fitzpatrick on the stop. Nice job of sitting back in the zone defense. It's 3rd and long. The Dolphins went back and played defense. He sees the release of the ball, comes up, makes the short tackle, keeping the head up, wrapping up, and getting the receiver to the ground.
And they got Edwards on the last play, so it's 4th down. Good showing by the starting unit for the Dolphins defense. And Jakeem Grant is back deep. And punting will be Sam Cook. Inside is 15, and it's nearly blocked. But a great kick by Cooks, sending Grant inside his 15. Let's see what he does with some open field here. And loses his footing and returns it just short of the 30-yard line, where Anthony Levine makes the tackle. And so a good defensive effort by the Dolphins against the second-team Raven offense. And back here at Hard Rock Stadium, and tonight's starting lineups are brought to you by Audi, and begin with the score 0-0 with just under 6 minutes remaining in the first quarter. We're going to have an offensive focus, and there it is, the starting offensive line. Not too good so far, but they've had good protection. Tannehill hasn't been sacked yet, and the rushing game averaging 5.2. Adam Gase said they're the strength of the offensive unit at this point. 1st and 10 at the 27. Drake back in at running back, and the pass is going to be caught by Kenny Stills. Stills missing last week's game with an ankle injury, gets 9 yards. Marlon Humphrey making the stop shy of the 1st down.
And guys, this play is made possible by Danny Amendola as he pushes upfield. Kenny tucks in behind him, and then all of a sudden out pops Kenny Stills for the 1st down. Great job by Amendola of running a good route to get him help get him open.
Kenyon Drake gets the 1st down with a 2-yard pickup.
Also on that last play, Tannehill saw the overload on defense and shifted the offense that way, allowing him to have time to throw the ball.
And the hurry up, something Adam Gase really wants to instill in this Dolphin team. Amendola going in motion to the slot to the right, and here's the pass, and it's underneath, and it's caught, and getting away is Albert Wilson. Wilson has had a tremendous camp, great addition to the team, leads the team in receptions at 5 of his 7 against Carolina, and he gets 6 yards here.
And guys, you know, when you have your normal starters go down, it gives guys like Albert Wilson and Jakeem Grant a chance to play with Ryan Tannehill, so they can create some familiarity as they go into the season.
Or Jarvis Landry when he leaves and goes to Cleveland.
So it's 2nd and 4, and 2 tight ends in there, Mike Gesicki and Marquise Gray. 2 tight ends and a tight formation. It's going to be Kenyon Drake, and Drake is knocked back for what looks like no gain. Matthew Judon making the tackle for the Ravens.
Well, the Ravens is a strong defense that they play disciplined gap defense, so it's very difficult to come all the way backside the way Kenyon tried to do there. Against a lot of teams, that play goes out the back door and becomes a big play. But this is a very disciplined defensive football team. They were one of the top teams on defense this past year.
6th in points allowed last year, but a lot of them are not in there, including Terrell Suggs. And Jimmy Smith is going to be suspended for 4 games. They're going to miss him. And here's some pressure on Tannehill, and holds on to the ball and gets sacked way back to the 35 by Patrick Owasso. He is a starter, one of the starters playing in the game. And so it's 4th down in a hurry. And they've given more ground than they've gained so far, the Dolphins.
Well, we've talked about the offensive line being the strength of this football team. And, you know, as you can see, great penetration by this Raven front 4 that comes up with the sack.
It's a very good defense the Ravens have.
Hawk kicking, and Janarian Grant again to return. Good hang time here. And penalty flag down. Grant at the 16 goes down. Normally when the flag is thrown, it's a penalty, and the hat is off the official, so somebody went out of bounds. The preliminary signal is against the Ravens. The referee tonight is Clay Martin. By the way, Jordan Lucas making the tackle on special teams. There is Lucas. Played his college ball at Penn State.
Lucas is fighting for a roster spot.
Yep, one of the defensive backs.
You know, he's been very good on special teams. Even last year, he was pretty good.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 87 kicking team. Baltimore is elected to have the 15-yard penalty tacked on from the end of the play. First down, Baltimore. Timeout.
It's on Rashawn Scott. Had no idea what that was about. Well, a 15-yard penalty against the Dolphins, and we're going to actually show you where the unsportsmanlike conduct was called. And, you know, the Dolphins have had a lot of penalties called on them, but this may have been an unfair one. Meanwhile, the Ravens starting from the 39. Gus Edwards, the running back. And Edwards with the carry, and he's not going to get anything there. Where was Rashawn Scott guilty of a foul here?
Let's go back and take a look. As you see Rashawn Scott down below, he fights to try and get out to cover the kick. He goes out of bounds 2 steps, he gets back in, and now he's chasing down. I don't understand the penalty. I don't see it.
Well, if anything, the Ravens prevented him from getting back in.
That's what I'm saying.
If you do go out of bounds, you have to come right back in as soon as you can.
This is what Griffin does well. He runs, gets the first down, and goes out of bounds. And he gets a first down to the 40-yard line, a 20-yard run by Robert Griffin III.
Well, when you look at Robert Griffin, he'll beat you more with his legs than he will with his arm. If you lose containment, he has the quicks to outrun most linebackers, and quite a few are defensive backs.
I'll tell you what, Nat, he's matured a lot, and he's helped Lamar Jackson in his whatever struggles he has as a rookie, because he's learned you can't only run, you have to really stay in the pocket as long as you can. 1st and 10 at the 40. Play action is time for Griffin, and Griffin is going to go deep. There's an open man, and the pass is incomplete. Incomplete pass intended for Jordan Lastly, and coverage by Xavier Howard. And that will bring up 2nd down and 10. Coming up tonight, don't miss the Powerball winning numbers in the news following the game, only on CBS 4, your official Florida lottery station. Going back to that penalty, that wasn't even close.
I don't understand that one. And he had to call Scott for staying out of bounds, but he looked like he tried to come back as soon as he could.
Yeah, 2 guys preventing him. So now 2nd and 10, and an audible called by RG3, and on the delay, Kenneth Dixon with the run, and he picks up about 3 yards.
Hey guys, the sad part about that call is the official that made that call is at the far end of the field. You've got officials that's right there at the line of scrimmage where the foul occurred, and they don't make the same call.
No, usually that official is calling illegal block or holding on the return team.
Yes.
So now it's 3rd down and 7 once again. See if the Dolphins can get off the field. One of Nat's focuses. Here's RG3, and this pass incomplete. It was intended for Janarian Grant and covered by Xavier Howard, who had a neat interception last game, but a flag down near the line of scrimmage.
Holding. Number 71 offense. 10-yard penalty. Replay. 3rd down.
Jermaine Ilumanor holding. He was holding Robert Quinn.
Well, guys, we're going to see a lot of that this year with Robert Quinn. The way he gets off the blocks. I mean, he reminds you a lot of the way Jason Taylor used to turn that corner.
We got a lot of defensive ends that can rush the passer.
Well, they took the penalty because this right now knocks them out of field goal range. If they had declined it, it would have been a field goal attempt for Tucker because he can kick them that long most of the time. So here's 3rd and 17. Griffin's pass, and it's going to be caught at the 38-yard line by Max Williams, the tight end. And a gain of 9 yards, and Kiko Alonso right there to prevent a further gain, and it'll be 4th down.
And a heads-up call by Matt Burke, the defensive coordinator, by going with man coverage with safeties over the top. Therefore, if you complete the pass, there's someone there to make the tackle right away. So it's not a long gain.
So Justin Tucker now will try a 51-yard, 56-yard field goal. And Kiko Alonso saying, I'm not looking to become a free agent. I just got to the wrong sideline. He'll stay with the Dolphins.
Well, be careful because someone might take his helmet when he gets to the other side.
Boy, he should be kidded by his teammates, I would think.
Look at the big smile on his face.
He went to the wrong bench.
I'm not a Raven, I'm a Dolphin.
They ought to check his head out. Maybe he got
well, trust me, they will.
It's a flag down, by the way. 2 penalty markers. Here's Clay Martin again.
Delay a game. Miami number 47. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
Well, then they give him a penalty for going to the wrong side.
Yeah, well,
correction. That's a substitution infraction.
So here's my question, gang. If indeed he has a concussion, would it still be a penalty?
That's a good question.
I mean, you know, at some point, you know, some of these calls make no sense.
This is a 51-yarder. Did I say that Justin Tucker was one of the best accurate field goal kickers of all time?
He gets a second chance.
He missed a 50-yarder earlier. This one is blocked. The Dolphins get it back, and it is blocked by Cameron Malveaux. And a big opportunity for the Dolphins here.
I just want you to keep saying he's the best kicker because so far things are going the right way when you say that.
I'll say it even when he's not in the game. So a block kick by Malveaux.
Here you see good pressure, getting the arms up, and that's a low kick, guys. He's got to drive the ball because it's such a long kick and he doesn't really get it up in a hurry, and Malveaux gets his arms up and is able to swat it down.
So now the Dolphins, in the waning seconds of this first quarter, will have a 1st down at their own 47-yard line. Best starting field position they've had by far. Kenyon Drake is the setback and a fumble. And the Dolphins appear to have recovered it. Tannehill falls on it. Second time he's had to get a loose ball and prevent the loss. They do lose 1 yard, however, and that will take care of this first quarter. So at the end of the first quarter here at Hard Rock Stadium, the Dolphins and the Ravens are scoreless.
Dolphins preseason football on CBS 4 is sponsored in part by Toyota. Visit your local Toyota dealer today. Toyota, let's go places. By Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more. And by Audi, get exceptional offers on select models during the Summer of Audi sales event at your South Florida Audi dealer.
No score as we start the second quarter. Dick Stockton, Nat Moore, Bob Greasy, Kim Bokamper with you. It'll be 2nd down and 11 at the 46 after the loss of 1. Offense is spread out. A lot of targets for Ryan Tannehill. Pass is caught by Amendola, and Danny Amendola picks up about 7 yards. CBS 4 is not only the official home of the Miami Dolphins, it's the home to news that matters to you. Watch CBS 4 News with Elliot Rudabay, Craig and Jim weeknights on CBS 4.
We mentioned how bad the Dolphins were on 3rd down conversions last year, last in the league. They're going to be better because of Amendola in the slot this year.
I agree. 3rd down and 3. Tannehill looking, and the ball is knocked down, incomplete. Amendola, the intended receiver, Tavon Young defending effectively, bringing up 4th down, and Hawk will come in to kick again.
Yeah, long throw this time by Ryan Tannehill. Ball comes out a little late. You know, the one thing about these defensive backs, they get paid to recover. Amendola ran a nice route, looked like he's open, but the ball doesn't get there on time, and, you know, the defensive back makes the play.
Janarian Grant back. Adam Gase. Team looking for its first preseason win after losing to Tampa Bay by 2 and Carolina by 7. And a good kick. Fair catch immediately called for by Grant at the 15. That's exactly what you want your punter to do. Well, here's tonight's trivia question brought to you by Ram. In the last 15 years, just 4 NFL players have recorded a double-digit sack season at the age of 35 or older. 2 of them are playing tonight. There's an asterisk here, by the way. Can you name them? Play along with us, by the way, by sending in your answers to the hashtag FinsOn4. Less than a minute gone by in the first quarter. Robert Griffin III remains at quarterback. And the handoff is to Kenneth Dixon for 2. And T.J. McDonald, he's played a strong first half thus far.
And guys, you know, coming into the ball game, we talk about this defense, you know, trusting each other, playing a lot with more urgency, everybody staying in their lanes, not giving up the big play, and so far they've done a nice job here tonight.
And the pass thrown, and not a good pass thrown to Janarian Grant, thrown behind him by Griffin III, incomplete.
Yeah, poor pass. Robert Griffin III, he won't be happy with that one when he sees it.
That'll bring up 3rd down and 8, and a chance for the Dolphins to create good field position for themselves if they can stop the Ravens here. Griffin's got time, and the pass is going to be caught for the 1st down to the 30. Jordan Lastly, the rookie from UCLA, picked on the 5th round, gets 13 yards and good protection that time.
Great protection, not able to get any type of pass rush, and it's just hard to cover for 3.5, 4 seconds as X was not able to make the play that time.
And here is Gus Edwards, and Alonso makes the stop.
You know, when you talk about Robert Griffin and his career, you know, he comes into this ball game during the preseason, he's averaging nearly 70% completion percentage, so he has learned to throw the football, sit in the pocket like Bob talked about, but he also has that ability that if you show him a gap, he can take off and run. So that negates the rush sometimes.
He got hurt. Injuries a problem with his demise in Washington. And there's the pressure, and the pass incomplete, and good coverage downfield by T.J. McDonald on Mark Andrews.
Great pressure that time by Cam Wake. I thought we were going to get a holding call, but the flag didn't come out. Good pressure applied by Cam Wake coming off this left side.
Right here.
Nice job, and right there, that looks like a hole, but I guess the official didn't see it. It is preseason, right?
For everybody.
Yes, for them also.
Now 3rd and 9. Griffin from behind goes down. Good play from behind by Robert Quinn, and he'll have his 3rd sack in 2 games, and that speed is tremendous coming off the left side.
And Dick, if it wasn't for a penalty and a hands to the face, that would be his 2nd sack tonight. He would already have 4 sacks in the last 2 ball games.
Wow.
But that happens when you got a Cam Wake on the other side.
Look at
it
this.
Creates the opportunity to get that one-on-one that he's enjoying.
Came from the blind side and a loss of 5. Here's Jakeem Grant on the return. Not going to get much, hemmed in toward the sideline there. So the Dolphins defense has done a good job thus far. And the offense trying to get something going. They'll start from the 25 when we return. No score between the Dolphins and the Ravens. Still early in the second quarter. And Ryan Tannehill will engineer the team starting from the 25-yard line. Tannehill is 4 for 5 for only 23 yards thus far. Here's Kenyon Drake. Kenyon Drake breaking one out to the outside, getting into Raven territory, and finally upended it around the 45 by Chuck Clark. He had a 34-yard run last week against the Panthers, gets 30 on this jaunt.
And great blocking by the right side of the Dolphins offensive line, Jesse Davis and Jawan James, which allows Drake to come out the back door.
First down at the 45. And they go to Drake again, and trying to turn the corner. We'll have maybe a yard or two. Kenny Young on the tackle. Kenyon Drake coming in, leading the team in rushing, averaging nearly 6.5 yards per carry.
Here's another good look at the blocking, and there you see Albert Wilson trying to get out front to pick up one of those defenders to hopefully spring him all the way to the end zone.
So Drake comes out, and Sonoris Perry checks in at running back, trying to win a spot on this roster. He's been a better receiver than a runner thus far, and a good special teams player. 2nd and 10 at the 45. And here's Tannehill's pass, and it's Stills with the catch. And trying to dive for a first down. Yardage is short, gets 9, however. Now, Drake was hobbling when he came out. Let's take a look at this last play he was in.
This was the long run where he gets tackled right there, and he actually gets his leg turned by the defender as he rolls over after the play.
3rd down and 1. Tannehill on the slant, and the pass is caught by Mike Gesicki. His first reception as a Dolphin.
Hallelujah.
You haven't asked for him to catch the ball. Where you been, Bob?
I know how valuable these tight ends are. He was a 2nd-round pick out of Penn State. They've been saying he's catching everything in practice.
Kenyon Drake back in the game. He ran that like a wide receiver on a slant. And here's another pass, and it's going to be caught. Kenny Stills, and close to the first down at the 16-yard line. So this has been the best offensive march by Ryan Tannehill this preseason. He gets 10 yards here.
And you see the rapport that he has with Kenny Stills. They've been together now for 3 years, and Kenny Stills has been his favorite target when he's trying to put it into the end zone.
They're on the 16, and it's a first down. So Kenyon Drake okay, back in again, the second play. And a timeout called by the Ravens, their first timeout with 9:25
Baltimore, their first
remaining in the first half. And the Miami Dolphins threatening against John Harbaugh's team as we send it down to Bo.
All right, time now for the week that was, brought to you by Infinity. This week, the Dolphin players and staff loaded up their trucks, headed to Booker T. Washington High School in Miami with a very special delivery. The team presented their football team with everything from footballs to blocking dummies, as well as a collection of other equipment, all to help them prepare for what they expect to be a very big season. They're only one of 3 schools that the Dolphins have gone out to during this offseason and helped out. They also went to Miramar back in May, also Pompano Beach. By the way, high schools in football in Florida kicked off their season yesterday with some great games both in Dade and Broward County, and more coming tonight, fellas.
All right, Bo, thank you very much. So the Ravens call their timeout, and here's the first down at the 16. So what a change for the Dolphins from the first quarter offensively thus far, but they want to cap it with a touchdown. And here is the play action, and the pass is incomplete. And good defense that time. Albert Wilson and Anthony Averett, who's from Alabama, rookie, made a good play.
Yeah, but guys, it's the pressure on Ryan that keeps this play from being a positive play. He has to get rid of the ball in a hurry instead of allowing Albert Wilson to be able to clear. and get some depth down the field.
2nd and 10. Tannehill going up top, and it looked like Gesicki had stopped his route. Tony Jefferson was defending.
You know, the thing that I really, as a fan, have a issue with these calls, because what's 5 yards? I mean, that's 10, 12 yards down the field, and you still have your hands on him. And then sometimes you'll call it when they're at 7 yards.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. That was interference. You can hit him 5 yards, and then you got to let him go.
So now 3rd and 10. And Tannehill's pass, and it's caught by Amendola. He's got the first down and the touchdown.
Danny Amendola.
Danny Amendola runs a great route, comes all the way across the field. And Bob, the thing that he does so well, it's instinctive as a slot guy. He comes back to meet the ball, and he keeps the cushion that he's gained as he comes open. And as he comes across, he's coming from the right part of your screen. He catches the ball. Because he was not gaining ground downfield, he's able to catch the ball and square up, make the first defender miss, and then get into the end zone.
And
great route, great catch.
Yeah, starting offense with their first touchdown of preseason. Jason Sanders on for the extra point. Very impressive drive by the Miami Dolphins, and the whistle had blown. Stoppage of play before the kick was made.
The play clock was never set at 20 seconds after the touchdown. We're going to mark the ball, the play clock at 25 seconds.
So the kick would have been good, but because the play clock wasn't accurate, they're going to re-kick it. Ryan Tannehill leading a 75-yard drive after the struggles of the first quarter, and the kick is good by Sanders, and the Dolphins take a 7-0 lead. Danny Amendola, the former Patriot, and they got the touchdown on a 3rd and 10.
And as a Dolphin fan, we've seen this movie way too many times when he was with the Patriots. So
take a look from the end zone, the pass protection on that last touchdown pass. Amendola's going to be coming from the left. Got all kinds of time to throw, and Amendola makes a couple good moves.
And that scoring drive, Bob, was brought to you by Honda, and a very heartening red zone touchdown for the Dolphins. Sanders will be kicking off, and Janarian Grant standing in the end zone. This is going to be a short kick and returnable, and Grant in stride brings it out close to the 30-yard line.
Now, as you look at the Ravens return team, it's one of the few teams that now have tight ends and linebackers and bigger guys. Most teams have went to wide receivers and running backs and DBs. So they're still old school on their special teams.
And by the way, their #1 draft pick, South Carolina's Hayden Hurst, has suffered a stress fracture of the foot. He's out 3 to 4 weeks.
Tight end.
First down at the 30-yard line. Kenneth Dixon, and good run defense by T.J. McDonald, having a super first half for the Dolphins, and a loss of 2 for Dixon.
T.J. McDonald will make this tackle, Dick, but Jordan Phillips is the guy that made it happen.
And if you're not watching Talking with Joe, Nat, you're missing out. It's sports and much more. Catch Talking with Joe weekdays on CBS 4 this morning. By the way, Kenneth Dixon played in more than a year till he saw action in preseason. Had a hamstring, a torn ACL, was suspended. So he's getting some time. 2nd down and 12. Back to the 28. Robert Griffin getting a pass rush, and on the screen pass to Dixon. Dixon breaking a tackle, breaks another tackle, gets a first down. That was not good defense by the Dolphins that time. Chase Allen finally brings him down after picking up 16.
And a heck of a job by Vince Taylor running downfield after rushing the quarterback to keep this play from going the distance. This is a screen pass. He gets off his block and he's chasing the ball carrier. Now watch him come into your screen and he makes the play.
First down, Gus Edwards for about 1.5 yards. And it was Vincent Taylor, who you were just talking about, making the tackle. Taylor has had a very good preseason. He has 4 sacks, 1 sack I should say, and he had 2 tackles for losses so far in preseason.
Yeah, his second-year play out of Oklahoma State that is really trying to fight for a starting position. He knows he's going to make this team.
2nd and 9. Edwards, maybe 1.5 yards. T.J. McDonald. Remember last year, T.J. McDonald was suspended for the first 8 games of the season, started all of the last 8 games, and the Dolphins gave him quite an extension. They knew how valuable he was.
He was. T.J. McDonald, a strong weak safety. Jones, the strong safety. We really didn't need a safety to be drafted, but Minka came on, and he's been the best draft pick the Dolphins have had in a long time.
Because he can be the nickel corner, he can be a safety, you name it.
Yes.
3rd down and 6 for Griffin. Out of a pack, completes the pass, and Kiko Alonso trying to save the first down, may not have. Gus Edwards was the receiver, and it's going to be a first down for the Ravens.
Dolphins got good pressure in the pocket, but Griffin is able to hang in there and deliver the football. Picks up the first down.
And Edwards' second effort, getting him the first down into Dolphin territory to the 45. Miami leading Baltimore 7-0. And it's going to be a run pass option, and it's going to be run by the quarterback, Griffin, who slides at the 20-yard line.
And guys, that's a heck of a weapon when you have a quarterback with that kind of speed, and you get your running game going, and he can fake the handoff and come out clean, and he has such speed that he can take it the distance, and he also can declare himself down where he doesn't get hit.
Right, 21-yard gain. There it is again. Boy, a lot more confident and knowledgeable. Doesn't experience do that for you. So it's a first down at the 24-yard line. Hand off to Gus Edwards. And Edwards getting down to the 21, where Jerome Baker, the rookie from Ohio State, stops him after a pickup of 3.
You won't see Flacco running that run-pass option.
It's called knowing your personnel.
Yeah.
You may see Lamar Jackson do that.
You might.
And
I'm sure you will.
Yeah, we will. We'll see him in the second half, I would think. There's Joe Flacco sitting this one out. Mark Thompson has come in at the running back position, and Thompson on the catch, just shy of the first down. Baker again makes the play.
And when you have a quarterback that has that kind of ability to get outside and extend the play, it makes it even more difficult as a defender to cover your man. Nice job by Baker coming up with the tackle, but you know, it's kind of hard to cover your man for 4 or 5 seconds.
You're right. First down, though, and Mark Thompson, by the way, from your old school.
Oh, yeah, good running back out of the University of Florida.
Goes out with Gus Edwards coming back in. Gus Johnson, former basketball player, good announcer too. Anyway, here's Griffin, and he goes underneath, completes the pass to the 10-yard line to Rashad Perriman for 4. And that was Alonso, who was right there. Did not prevent any more of a gain. Under 4 minutes remaining in the first half, and the Dolphins leading 7-0.
Well, this is one of the areas that the Dolphins really wanted to improve on this year, is getting off the field, especially down inside the red zone.
Well, they've done it exclusively thus far, but now faced with a test. Second down, 6 from the 10-yard line. Here's Griffin. Griffin ducks, and now he's hit, tried to run, and gets no gain on the play. Jordan Phillips, who has made a couple of neat plays in his first half, and good pressure once again by Vince Taylor, who we've been talking about.
Yeah, it won't be called a sack because he gets past the line of scrimmage. They're double teaming Quinn. He gets past the line of scrimmage, so it won't be a credit with the sack, but still third down.
Well, this is where you want to stop, obviously. Third and down at 6 from the 10. And here is Edwards, and Edwards diving close to the first down. Let's see where they mark the ball. Gets to the 4. Jerome Baker made the tackle.
You know,
and it is a first down for the Ravens, 1st and goal.
Aren't those yellow lines nice to have? I mean, you can tell where the first down marker is.
And the audience should know always that they're unofficial.
Yeah.
So they may think they had a first down, maybe not, but it'll be 1st and goal now from the 4. So Edwards, with a tough run up the middle, remains in the game. Dolphins defense trying to prevent a tying touchdown here. They go to Edwards. He's tripped up. Good defensive play by Kiko Alonso. No gain, bringing up 2nd and goal. And we're winding down to our 2-minute warning. The Dolphins starting defense has been exemplary in this first half. Can they keep the Ravens out of the end zone? We'll be back.
This is the 2-minute warning.
Stay with CBS 4 at halftime. You won't want to miss part 1 of our 4 More on the Fins feature on Kenyon Drake. Recently spent time with our Jim Berry. And Elliot Rodriguez and Rudabeh Shabazi anchor our coverage back in the CBS 4 News Studios in Miami. That's all coming up at halftime. 2 minutes remain in the first half, and it'll be a 2nd and goal at the 4 for the Ravens, trailing the Dolphins 7-0. They have 2 timeouts left, does Baltimore. Dolphins have all 3 of theirs, and it's going to be play action. Griffin with Alonso shadowing him, throws, tip, incomplete, and it's an incomplete pass all the way as it was deflected by Vince Mayle.
Got a flag.
And a penalty marker in the end zone.
Prior to the pass, holding, number 28 defense. Half the distance to the goal, 1st down.
Well, a defensive holding penalty will give the Ravens a 1st and goal. It was on Bobby McCain. DeVere Posey.
That's as he started to reverse his feel. You know, he was good, but once he reversed his feel, you got to let him go.
Yeah.
So instead of a 4th and goal, it is 1st and goal now from the 2. And jumping the line, flag is down. Jordan Phillips was diving. Here's Akeem Spence talking to the officials.
Encroachment, number 97 defense. Half the distance to the goal, 1st down.
And guys, this is a penalty that I don't have a problem with. He's trying to time the snap count. He's trying to make a big play. And if he's successful, he helps his football team. You're already on the 2-yard line. Costs you 1 yard.
Right.
I mean, so, you know, heads up play by him. He just didn't get it timed out properly.
There it is again. And now another flag goes down. An illegal, or I should say a false start by Mark Andrews, the tight end, rookie from Oklahoma.
See, down here, if you're the offense, you don't want to fool around because if you get called, it's going to cost you 5 yards. Defensively, you can fool around a little bit because it's only going to cost you about half the distance to the goal line, which is going to be like a half a yard.
False start, number 89 offense. 5-yard penalty.
And that's going to be significant. That's a 5-yard penalty.
Sure, moving back 5 yards.
And a lot of that stems from what happened the previous play of guys getting off the ball, forcing you to try and get off the ball with them.
That's where I think the quarterbacks in their cadence down here should be very bland, very, very consistent. because their offense, you don't want your offensive guys to jump.
Impressive drive, but the Ravens now with a 1st and goal back at the 6. And here is Gus Edwards, and no gain on the play, and it was Cameron Wake. Cam Wake with the play, and it'll be 2nd down and goal from the 6.
Good football player right there. You know, we talk about all of his sacks, but he plays the run pretty good as well.
Yeah, saw his first action of preseason last week.
Cam Wake, 36 years old, still playing like he's 26.
Is he ever?
He's a pretty good player right there.
About Mr. Consistency, huh?
Yes.
And here's Griffin, and he has to get rid of it in a hurry. A big pass rush coming in by the Dolphins that time.
Matt Burke dialed up the blitz that time, Dick. You had Kiko Alonso coming on the blitz.
And Andre Branch came in, too.
Yes, good pressure.
Yeah, good play.
Good call, you're right.
Oh, yeah.
Now it's 3rd and goal at the 6. So the Dolphins looking for another superb defensive play. What is Matt Burke dialing up here? Mark Thompson, the rookie from Florida, is back in the game. Wide out to the right on 3rd and goal. Griffin will take off if he can. He can, and he does, but he'll be stopped at the 5-yard line for 4th down. A terrific defensive stop by the Miami Dolphins. That was Rashad Jones along with T.J. McDonald, and bringing up 4th and goal from the 4.
Well, those defensive guys are running off the field, but you know, this is preseason. They may go ahead and go for this on 4th down.
Timeout called.
This will be a 30-second timeout
By the Dolphins.
Bob, they might be running off the field and celebrating, but this is a defensive stop that this team needed, and they got it. They got after it. And for as much as we've jumped on Jordan Phillips for jumping off sides and etc., he was the cachet that started this thing to happen.
Well, you know, he obviously got into Mark Andrews' head on the very next play, Nat. You're right. So timeout, call me up. And it'll be 4th and goal at the 4 and a field goal try. This will be a 22-yard attempt by Justin Tucker. He missed one from 50 and had one blocked on a 51-yard attempt by Cameron Malveaux. The 22-yard field goal try is good, and the Ravens score with 57 seconds to go, but they're held to a field goal by a terrific defensive unit that has played well the entire first half. Dolphins lead 7-3. Dolphins leading 7-3, and they have 57 seconds left, 2 timeouts. And on the receiving end of a kick for the first time tonight. And it'll be Torrey McTyer, who's been a factor in preseason in the secondary. Played the 7 games last year, undrafted rookie from UNLV. Had an outstanding game against Carolina. Justin Tucker will boot it for the Ravens. Returnable. And McTyer from the goal line. Torrey McTyer, and he brings it out to the 23. Well, coming up tonight, don't miss the Powerball winning numbers in the news. That follows the game, only on CBS 4, your official Florida lottery station. What would you do if you won the lottery, man?
I would invite you guys over for a party because you would not see me anymore after the party.
Bob, you would invite us over, but you'd say, come on back for another one, right?
Yeah.
That'd be the last time you guys see me.
Ryan Tannehill, 8 of 11, 68 yards and a touchdown. First TD by the starting unit in preseason. Tannehill gets some time, going deep for the running back, Kenyon Drake. Kenyon Drake, who has made the big plays last week at Carolina as a runner, today as a receiver and a runner. And now the Dolphins will stop the clock and call a timeout with 36 seconds after the 36-yard pass play to Kenyon Drake.
Timeout.
And they had to call timeout. They couldn't get to the line quick enough.
Yeah, nice job. He's working against a linebacker, and nice job of waiting patiently as the ball's coming down, is slightly underthrown, making sure the grab. Now, what you'd like to see him realize and remember, this is the 2-minute drill. Give the ball to the official. You know, the Dolphins have to use a timeout, otherwise you waste time there. So great play, but you got to remember what's going on.
Yeah. Dolphin running back out on one of the Ravens linebackers. A big mismatch and a good throw by Tannehill.
And you're right, Nat, because you have too much to run. You're going to use up too much time.
Oh, yeah.
So now the Dolphins have 1 timeout left. 1st and 10 at the 41 of the Ravens. 36 seconds to go on the clock. Drake remains in the game. And here's Tannehill getting some pressure. And his pass is caught by Jakeem Grant. And Grant picks up 7 yards. Penalty flag down. And Drake slow getting up. He is shaken up. The hit was by Chuck Clark.
Question is, did he lead with the helmet?
I didn't see whether it was a. Doesn't look like
Jakeem Grant has been the number 2 receiver. He's got a crossing route. He comes all the way across the field, catches the ball, loses his balance.
Oh, yeah.
But there you see the helmet. The helmet.
The initial contact made with the helmet. Yep. And this was not inadvertent. They talked about the
Personal
rule.
Foul. Lowering the head to initiate contact. Number 36 defense. 15-yard penalty. 1st down. Miami will not be charged a timeout since there was a foul on the play.
And see, and that can result, as we know, of injury and then some, and it certainly did to Jakeem Grant, who was jarred severely by that hit by Clark.
And this is what every team worries about in the 3rd and 4th game, because you get a guy like Jakeem hurt and he goes in concussion protocol. You don't know how long he's going to be out, and he's your kick returner, punt returner, and he's probably your 4th or 5th receiver. So, you know, you don't want to see this guy go out with a concussion because you never know exactly when he's able to come back.
Well, this week they changed, as we see another look, they changed the wording on this foul to say that if it was inadvertent with the helmet, it wouldn't be called. That's not fitting what we just saw. So it'll be 1st down now at the 19-yard line for the Dolphins with 28 seconds left, still with 1 timeout to go. They were not charged with a timeout. So here's Tannehill, and the pass is tipped at the line, and wide open was Kenyon Drake.
Yeah.
Tipped by Tim Williams, the linebacker.
Well, he wanted to try and get it to Kenyon Drake in a hurry, so he tries to line it. You'd like to see him just lob it up and over instead of trying to line it in, because he's wide open with a chance to catch the ball and go one-on-one on a linebacker.
Jawan James, the right tackle, should fire out at his defensive end to get his hands down. 2nd
and 10. 25 seconds on the clock till halftime. Here's the pass thrown underneath, and it is caught by Albert Wilson for 4 yards to the 15, and the Dolphins will call their 3rd and final timeout with 20 seconds to go. Or
Miami, their second.
Their second one, excuse me.
Timeout.
They still had 1 timeout. Were not charged the last time. Experience the home opener live in the all-new Hard Rock Stadium and help us create a home field advantage. So join us as we open the regular season September 9th against the Tennessee Titans, presented by Publix. A limited number of tickets remain. Visit Dolphins.com to secure your seats now.
Well, the guys are back down inside the red zone. You know, this team has worked quite a bit. I mean, every week.
That is Miami's 3rd and final timeout.
That's what I thought. I thought they had 1 timeout left, and because they had to call their 2nd timeout with a pass completion to Drake. When they came up there, that was their 2nd. They didn't get the timeout because of the personal foul. This was their 3rd and final timeout. So,
but going back to what I was saying earlier before they corrected the call, this is the area that they've got to improve in. How do you get the ball into the end zone, not having to settle for field goals?
3rd down and 6. to get to the 9-yard line. Here's pressure on Tannehill. And he has to rush to get it away. But good quarterback pressure by Zadarius Smith. And once again, that offensive line under siege against that pressure.
Well, and we haven't seen a lot of naked bootlegs and different things that we would normally do with Ryan. So I think tonight you basically want to get him comfortable sitting in the pocket against a great rushing defense. So this is good work for Ryan and this offensive line.
So Jason Sanders is in to try a 33-yard field goal. Sanders is 5 for 6 so far in preseason at a 42-yarder against Carolina. And the whistle. And a timeout called by the Ravens.
Baltimore, 30-second timeout.
Well, John Harbaugh is working on his skill set as he's trying to freeze the kicker here in the first half.
So Sanders from New Mexico, taken in the 7th round, 5 for 6. And there you see Greg Joseph, who has kicked 2 boomers, 48 and 54-yard field goals, and has made both of his out of Florida Atlantic in Boca Raton. So here is Sanders, who is 3 for 3 inside 29. This is a little longer than that, with 15 seconds remaining in the half. And Jason Sanders' kick is good, and the Dolphins lead at 10-3.
I can't believe they thought they could freeze Sanders because, you know, here's a kid with ice water in his veins.
Yes.
According to after talking to the coaching staff, they say that, you know, this guy is so cool under pressure that that's what they like about him coming out of college.
So 2 rookies battling for the place-kicking job, such a valuable spot on a team. I mean, this is really, Cody Parkey did a great job now kicking for the Chicago Bears.
You know, that's the one thing you have to give Chris Greer and Darren Rizzi, that they somehow or another always finds these kickers that whenever we lose one or he goes somewhere else, they find the next guy that can really perform under pressure. And that's the whole key. Can you do it under pressure? And so far, they've done a great job this preseason, 7 of 8.
Well, that was a 62-yard drive, 45 seconds. Now, Greg Joseph, who we were just talking about, kicking here and running it out will be Grant from the end zone for the Ravens, and stopped in his tracks at the 17-yard line by Terrence Garvin, former Seattle Seahawk. Trying to show what he can do, at least maybe a practice squad or maybe another team might pick him up. But Garvin with a good special teams play there. 7 seconds remain in the first half. The Dolphins, by the way, will receive that second half kickoff. And we'll find out whether indeed Ryan Tannehill will be at the helm.
They've had 5 possessions with Tannehill in the first half, and they've had 25 plays.
Well, that's what Adam Gase is going to have to consider. And that is the end of the first half with the score, the Dolphins 10 and the Ravens 3. Stay with CBS 4 as we send it back to Elliott and Rudabay in our CBS 4 News studios in Miami. And don't miss part 1 of our 4 More on the Fins feature on Dolphins running back Kenyon Drake. Well, he had a terrific first half, didn't he? So Nat, Bob, Kim, and I will be back with the Xfinity halftime report and the second half after this news update.
Tonight's halftime report is sponsored by Xfinity. Xfinity delivers the fastest internet with the best in-home Wi-Fi experience. Call, click, or visit an Xfinity store today. Tonight's telecast is also sponsored in part by your South Florida Chevy dealers. Head to your local Chevy dealer now and test drive a new Camaro, Cruze, or Silverado. And by Infinity. Empower the drive. Tonight's halftime report is sponsored by Xfinity. Xfinity delivers the fastest internet with the best in-home Wi-Fi experience. Call, click, or visit an Xfinity store today. Tonight's telecast is also sponsored in part by your South Florida Honda dealers. Visit your Honda dealer this week during the Honda Summer Spectacular event. And by Duffy's Sports Grill. Online ordering now available at orderduffys.com.
And welcome back to Hard Rock Stadium. We're at the half. The Dolphins lead the Baltimore Ravens 10-3, and as promised, it's time for the Xfinity halftime report. Defense did a really good job, and the offense finally got a touchdown here. And let's start with Nat, with the defense. You talked about the focus early in the game, and I must have been listening to you.
Well, they came out ready to play. They got after it in a hurry. They did a nice job in that first drive of, even though they got hit with a penalty, they eventually got the stop. Better job by the defense of staying in their lanes, playing their responsibility, knowing that their teammates are going to be where they need to be. Nice job there by T.J. McDonald, but this is great team defense, guys. Jordan Phillips coming in, cleaning up. Good pressure, forcing the quarterback to hold the ball by the guys downfield in coverage, and you get the sack by Robert Quinn. Just tremendous team defense. 11 guys going to the football. This is how you play defense.
And that defense, of course, Joe Flacco not playing today. A lot of the starters, John Harbaugh wanted to play more, but it was raining early in the game. You talked about the red zone and offensively, and they finally did score from there.
First 3 possessions, not too good for the offense. In the last couple of possessions, they got 10 points on the board. The ball was wet, Brian. The ball's wet out there. Dropped it, tried to pick it up and throw it. But like I said, he didn't look too good on the first 3 possessions, but the last 2, he was in there for 25 plays, 5 different possessions, and finally got it going, got into the end zone.
Well, it remains to be seen whether he'll come out for a series in the third quarter. Adam Gase's decision coming up. We'll see how they play it. And there is the touchdown in the red zone on 3rd and 10, by the way, to Danny Amendola. And right now, here are the Xfinity halftime statistics.
And as you look at the 82 yards, that was one big play where RG3 came out of the back door on a naked boot.
And there are the numbers. No turnovers so far in the game, and the Ravens have had the ball a lot more than the Dolphins. Well, before we wrap up the Xfinity halftime, let's send it down to Kim Bokamper.
All right, guys, I had a chance to catch up with Coach Adam Gase. A little better mood than he was last week at halftime. Happy about that offense. A lot of guys flying around, making plays, making Baltimore move their way down the field before they got the field goal. They were able to stop them by the goal line, keep them out of the end zone. And love the way guys are flying around. Now, offensively, certainly some concern there. Puzzled by the center quarterback exchange. He'll talk about that. He's glad to see the offense, so finally get in the red zone, score a touchdown. The play to Amendola on a 75-yard drive, was happy about that. Individually, liked the play of Quinn, obviously. Quinn coming and putting a lot of pressure in the last 2 weeks while he's been playing. Liked what he saw to T.J. McDonald flying all over the field making plays. And also he said Kenyon Drake's ability to run and pass was a big bonus for this offense, guys.
All right, Bo, thank you. That's Torrey McTyer, who will return the second half kickoff.
Guys, I don't know about you all, but I was pretty impressed with the play of Jordan Phillips. Those defensive tackles are really coming off the ball, pushing the pocket, which is making it tough for the quarterback to stand in there and throw the football.
Well, they're key to stopping the running game. The inside running game is going to be stopped by those 2 inside tackles.
Well, they have a new kicker, rookie from Marshall, Corey Vedvik, I should say. And he's kicking to McTyer, who on the run in stride, fields the ball at the 5-yard line. And McTyer, flag is down, penalty marker, as McTyer is stopped at the 30-yard line.
Holding. Receiving team number 87. 10-yard penalty from the end of the play. First down.
Penalties against Rashawn Scott for holding.
He's on a lot of special teams, isn't he?
Well, to listen to tonight's game in Spanish, we're hoping you're enabling the secondary audio programming or SAP button on your viewing device. SAP services tonight brought to us courtesy of Duffy's Sports Grill. So David Fales is going to go in at quarterback, and Ryan Tannehill, his work tonight, completed 11 of 16 for 115 yards and a touchdown. Fales and Osweiler battling for the number 2 spot, starting from the 16-yard line, and the pass and open is Rashawn Scott. Well, he giveth and taketh away, committed the penalty, and then catches a big pass into Baltimore territory, 39 yards to the 45.
They catch the in a double zone, and the safety doesn't get over it. Nice job of Fales seeing it and getting the ball on the fade.
Sonoris Perry with a good run, getting about 9 yards on first down.
Nice blocking on the left side of that offensive line. Backup offensive line is in there, but they're doing a good job.
And Jakeem Grant, by the way, suffered a concussion on that helmet hit and will not return. Hand off to Perry. Perry driving for a first down. Reminds us of that drive against Tampa Bay in the first preseason game when he was really the battering ram. Perry this time gets 15.
And this is great blocking by that second unit of the Miami Dolphins offensive line. You know, Perry popped through there. He was almost shocked that nobody touched him.
Asiata and Young are on the left side there, Nat.
Yep, new line and new players. First down into the end zone, and it is unable to make the catch. Was Owusu. He looked like he had a shot to catch it, and Anthony Everett defending on the play. Owusu, by the way, the longest reception in preseason.
And this is where I'm shocked from an officiating standpoint at what is a foul going down the field. You're trying to come back to catch the football. The guy's running through you. That's interference.
No, it's second.
Sounds like a wide receiver to me.
That's right.
I mean, it's interference.
Second and 10 from the 24. Fails, rush from the pocket, and completes it anyway to A.J. Derby, and Derby gets it inside the 20-yard line for a gain of 8 yards. Fales was, kind of failed against Carolina, 1 for 6 for only 6 yards and an interception. He's come out strong here.
Comes top of your screen.
Hey guys, here's what I love about David Fales right there. You know, he didn't lose vision downfield. He knows he's going to get pressure. He sees the receiver come open, gets him the football.
And puts himself in a 3rd and 2 from the 16. This is a quick march, quick drive by the Dolphins here to start this third quarter, moving nicely. But can they get another first down or better? Here's Fales, and Fales going into the corner, and let's see. No flag is thrown. Isaiah Ford defended by Darius Williams, another rookie for the Ravens. And 4th and 2 coming up.
You know, this is a down that the Dolphins got to improve on, and I really don't know what a pass interference is.
They're going for it on 4th down and 2 from the 16. Fails, and incomplete to Isaiah Ford, and the Dolphins still turn it over on downs. David Fales got him to a point, and 2 passes didn't work, and the Ravens get it back. Lamar Jackson in the preseason. A lot of people wanted to know who was going to draft Lamar Jackson. Was going to go early, middle, late, and the Baltimore Ravens picked him in their #1 pick toward the end. Rookie out of Louisville, and he's now the quarterback. So we don't see Flacco, but we see Robert Griffin III and now Lamar Jackson. Starting from the 16-yard line, Jackson handing off to Mark Thompson, and Kendall Langford comes in to make the play, and there'll be a loss on the play thanks to Langford.
How many quarterbacks went in the draft, the first round, Dick?
I don't know. I'll have to figure it out. 5 or 6, yes.
Yeah, 5 or 6. When was the last time that happened?
1983.
No, 83, yeah.
I can tell you.
There's a little trivia. See, Nat, I don't give all these hard trivia questions.
Yeah.
There's Flacco on the right, and Robert Griffin III. That was, by the way, a great year for a drafted quarterback, don't you think? And this pass is overthrown in the open man. Kendall Langford putting on good pressure that time, and the pass incomplete, intended for rookie Mark Andrews.
Well, I guess that's the one knock against Lamar Jackson is his accuracy.
He comes in completing only 43% of his passes,
But when you got big linemen in your face the way you had there, and you're trying to get rid of the football, and there's nobody open, it's not an easy task to complete the football.
3rd and 13. By the way, Kendall Langford at 19 snaps 3 days after he was signed in the Carolina game. There is what what Lamar Jackson does the best, and he may pick up the first down. And he does.
And guys, this is why it's so important that your tackles move the pocket back and make sure they're the spies, because you can get pressure on him, but he has that ability to escape right upfield. He's so quick and fast that it's very tough for guys to get to him.
13 yards out to the 26. Sidearm pass caught by Rashad Perriman, and Perriman gets 9 yards on the play. You know, I wouldn't be surprised, would you guys, if Flacco quarterback, we see Jackson or Griffin or someone like that in the backfield at the same time.
Yeah, they've talked about that. You know, they're trying to scare a bunch of defensive coordinators to start thinking about that and spending more time worrying about that than worrying about all the other intangibles of the Ravens offense.
You definitely have to defense Flacco a lot different than you defense Jackson.
Marty Mornwick, the offensive coordinator, been around, been a head coach with the Lions as well. 2nd down and 1, and the draw play to DeLance Turner. Turner is going to win this race, maybe. Let's see what happens. He does. Tell you what, some of the Dolphins hustle pretty well. 65-yard run by rookie DeLance Turner out of Alcorn State.
You know, that was one of the things that we talked about in the opening, the big play, the explosive play, and we had a run like that last week.
71 yards.
71 yards by McCaffrey, and then here again tonight, just poor gap participation by the defense.
Yeah, the defense, everybody has to be responsible for a gap, and that wasn't the case.
Tankersley gave it a run but came up short, and now Justin Tucker, the regular kicker, in for the extra point, and the kick is good, and that ties the game at 10-10. Less than 5 minutes have gone by here in the 3rd quarter in this 3rd preseason game. There it is. Good run by the rook. Coming up tonight, don't miss the Powerball winning numbers in the news following the game. Only on CBS 4, your official Florida lottery station. Well, the Ravens fight back to tie the score at 10. And
there's a good look at Matt Burke, defensive coordinator.
Jalen Davis back deep will run it out. He was the return man against the Panthers last week and gets tripped up. He had an opening and he really could have gone, but somebody tripped him up.
His eyes got big as watermelon.
Yeah. He's, I thought I had it.
You've got good blocking, and you finally get a seam, and you just, I mean, it's almost like he just lost his footing. Oh, man. You dream of that opportunity.
Oh, yeah.
Brock Osweiler is in now. So Fales had 1 series. We'll see him again, I'm sure. And Brock Osweiler at quarterback, 10 of 13, 68 yards. Neither one of the backups has shown definitively that they should be the backup behind Ryan Tannehill on this team. Starting from the 25-yard line, Osweiler's pass, and it is caught by Thomas Duarte, and a minimal gain on first down.
Well, I think one of the things that Coach Gase would like to do is give Osweiler as well as David Fales a chance to play with that second unit. You know, the first ball game, Fales got a chance to play with the second unit, and Osweiler played with the third unit. Last week, they flipped it. So now, in all fairness, since you're trying to figure out who's going to be that number 2 guy, you want to make the playing field as even as possible.
Short gain again to Duarte. Osweiler started 14 games 2 years ago for the Houston Texans, plus 2 playoff games, beat the Oakland Raiders before losing to the New England Patriots. So he's got playoff experience. 3rd down and 7 now for Brock Osweiler, who drew the attention of Adam Gase when Gase was in Denver. Osweiler getting the rush and has to get rid of it in a hurry. Had no chance. 4th down coming up.
Baltimore defensive front, their front 7. It's hard to read sometimes. They stand up their defensive linemen. The linebackers fake. I think sometimes you need to get up there and just give a quick count and just go on a quick count.
Well, their starting defense is very good, as you all know. Arian Grant, and let's see if Hawk got knocked down. No flag. And now 2 flags go by, and on the return by Grant.
You know, we don't talk much about Hawk, but you know, when the Dolphins are backed up and you can hit a boomer like that to switch the field position, that's a big weapon.
Yeah, it is. Okay, referee Clay Martin. There were 2 flags.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Receiving team number 31. 10-yard penalty, 1st down.
Kai Nakuga committing the penalty. Well, we're going to take a timeout now. No, we're going to do a promo. Well, before you make plans, find out what Setzer says about your weather. Chief meteorologist Craig Setzer, weeknights at CBS 4, the official home of your Miami Dolphins. I can catch up fast.
You know, Craig is also a bike rider, rides to DCC each and every year.
Really?
Oh, yeah, he's got some skills.
I guess so. Starting from the 11-yard line. And pass doesn't get much. Terrence Garvin there on the play.
Defensive line doing a good job.
2-yard loss there.
There's some, these guys that are playing now, the second team, the 3rd string guys, they're playing for a roster spot. They're trying to impress somebody.
Well, Chase Allen, he'll be there. We know that. And but you're right about people. Garvin, the former Seahawk player. We'll see others as well. 2nd down and 12 from the 9-yard line, and getting away is Jackson for a moment, and he is tackled at the 9. No gain on the play, and it was Vincent Taylor. Vincent Taylor has been solid throughout all the preseason.
And guys, one of the things that Coach Kocurek has these linemen do is get pressure and then chase the ball. I don't care if it goes 40 yards downfield, and that's why these defensive tackles, the defensive ends, are in such great shape to make plays like that. Normally in the 3rd quarter, they're tired, but no, he don't let that happen. They chase the football.
3rd down and 12 at the 9. How about more pressure in the end zone? And out of the backfield is Mark Thompson, and the play made by Chase Allen. That's perfect 4th down, and the Chase Allen making the tackle.
Allen was an undrafted linebacker, free agent last year, and started a bunch of ball games for the Dolphins,
including the opening game.
Yeah,
started 4 in all. So Corey Vedvik will be punting from the end zone, and Drew Morgan back at the 30. Dolphins looking for good field position here, and a good kick by Vedvik, and it goes out of bounds. But there was no return, and Vedvik did everything he could do. Well, we'll see the offense. We'll see who comes out at quarterback. Each backup has had a series. Back here, the score is tied 10-10, and earlier tonight we asked you to participate in our trivia question brought to you by Ram. In the last 15 years, just 4 NFL players have recorded a double-digit sack season at the age of 35 or older. Only one of the 2 played tonight. Can you name them? And you had a chance to play along. After the play, we'll give you the answer. Osweiler remains at quarterback, starts from the 31. Sonoris Perry, tough to bring down, picks up about 5 or 6 yards. Here is our answer. Yep, he didn't play tonight. Terrell Suggs in his 16th year. But he did play Cam Wake, and he's made a good run stop tonight, too.
Yeah. He's got good pressure in the pocket as well as done a nice job.
Julius Peppers last week, 10.5 sacks, age 35, and John Abraham. Those are the 4. Second down and 5. Osweiler in trouble. And down he goes. Sacked back at the 22-yard line.
You got to know when the time is up and when to just let it go and throw an incompletion. Just get rid of it.
Yeah, he's actually looking to try and throw it down the field, Bob, on the deep route, but the safety is there. You know, as soon as you see that, like you say, he's just got to get rid of the football, throw it out of bounds. You know where the other receivers are.
Kamale Correa and Tim Williams in a loss of 11 yards. So now third down and 16. Osweiler, pressure on him again, and he's going to go down. Good play by Kenny Young, a rookie from UCLA, taken on the 4th round. And so the backups for the Ravens are playing aggressively here when they need to, and Osweiler running off the field after the loss of 9.
Here's another good look. Just seemed like a busted assignment. When someone comes that free without someone putting a hat on, it's just a missed assignment.
So Osweiler, who lost almost 20 yards in 2 plays. Matt Hawk backed up. Janarian Grant. Great punt. Grant back to the 25. And good hard hitting by special teams. Darren Rizzi had his guys really physical tonight. Cornell Armstrong and Jordan Lucas. Armstrong, by the way, had the most tackles in the first preseason game against Tampa Bay. Rookie taken on the 6th round out of Southern Mississippi.
There's 3 segments to the Miami Dolphins. There's the offense, there's the defense, and then there's the kicking game. And there are some jobs to be won. First and foremost, I'm a starter on the kicking game. On special teams, I may be a backup in the defensive backfield, but I'm a starter on the special teams.
Meanwhile, Hawk's kick was 59 yards. Starting on the 38 is Lamar Jackson, and it's tipped at the line of scrimmage, incomplete, deflected by Vincent Taylor. And it'll be second down and 10. I think Taylor's going to be an important factor this year.
Yeah, he actually played exceptionally well last year as a rookie, and now he's getting a better feel for this game, and you can see just the impact, you know, the speed.
And this pass caught out of the backfield, and Tim White is stopped by Jalen Davis after a 7-yard gain. So it'll be third down and short coming up for the Ravens on their own 45.
And I like the fact that Matt Burke is playing a lot more man coverage so he can see some of these young guys, see what their skills level is versus sitting back in the zone.
3rd and 3, going to run for it, going to make it. Lamar Jackson dives his way into Dolphin territory to the 48 after picking up 7 more.
Well, they know he can do that. They know he can run. What they need to see is him picking up first downs with his arm.
They hurry up like the Dolphins did to the Ravens. 1st and 10 at the 48. Gus Edwards, a yard. I saw Kendall Langford. Yeah, Langford, out since last November, was signed after camp started. 3 days later, played 19 snaps against Carolina. This pass is lofted, and a good touch shown by Lamar Jackson there as he gets Devere Posey.
There.
And a first down.
And Bob, here's what you see. He can throw the football whenever he has a good, clean pocket. You know, good route by the wide receiver, and coming out of his break in a hurry. There's just no reaction time for Tony Lippett.
Mark Thompson is in the game, trying to go wide, and he cuts upfield and got more than the Dolphins wanted him to get. Picks up, well, about 2 yards. Jonathan Woodard on the stop. Thompson, the undrafted rookie from the University of Florida. By the way, Cameron Malveaux, who has a block tonight on one of Justin Tucker's kick, was in on the play. Some time out of the backfield is Thompson. Thompson breaks the tackle, and Thompson gets to the 20-yard line. Cordray Tankersley finally makes the play, And the guy who missed was Chase Allen, and a gain of 15 yards puts the Ravens in business inside the 20. .240 remaining third quarter. And here is on the rush pass option. There's Jackson diving in. Does he get it? Yes. Lamar Jackson diving for the touchdown, and you know they review all scoring plays, and I'm sure they'll take a look at that one as well, as Jackson runs 15 yards on the run pass option.
You know, one of the things that the Ravens did was with Lamar Jackson, they traded back up to get back into the first round.
Yes, they did.
To take him late in the first round. He was drafted in the first round, but he is the B selection. And this is what he gives you, the ability to get outside and find a crease. And then he's a running back. He has the ability to make people miss in the open field. And then, as you see, dives for the end zone, knowing what he needed for the touchdown.
And should get credit for that. By the way, Ozzie Newsome, and has been one of the great general managers of the National Football League for so many years.
The previous play is now under further review.
He is retiring this year.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
No, he's been a great one.
And a lot of his assistants have come out as well. They're going to, as we said, review that. It looked from here as if, you know, on the plays, if he got the ball across touchdown before the knee hit.
Here's another look at it, and the key is, does he have possession of the football?
Yeah, crosses the goal line.
That's a touchdown. We'll get the big decision when we come back. We're back, and Clay Martin informed everyone that upon further review it was confirmed it was a touchdown. Lamar Jackson 15-yard run, and Corey Vedvik, undrafted rookie from Marshall, for the extra point. The Ravens leading for the first time tonight. And Vedvik's kick is good, so it's 17-10. 8 plays, 62 yards. And this is our on to scoring drive. 8 plays, 62 yards. Let's see another look.
And what they're looking for you folks at home is, does he have possession of the football as he crosses the goal line? You know, and the ball can come out once he breaks the plane, as it did. But that was after he'd crossed the goal line, the ball hit the ground.
Who does it remind you of?
Who does he remind me of? Michael Vick.
There you go. There you go. Vick wasn't the most accurate passer when he came into the league, but he worked on it, improved.
That time, if the pass wasn't there, he would immediately take off.
Yeah.
There were no second or third options for him. Jalen Davis back deep, and Vedvik with the kickoff from the goal line. Here is Davis from Utah State. And carries it out past the 20-yard line. Well, we've seen Osweiler for 2 series after Fales started the second half, and now Fales will come in again. So alternating, kinda, the backup quarterbacks, neither of whom have distinguished themselves. So what do you think is going to come down to here, Nat?
I think it's going to come down to where both of those guys will play next week. I don't think Ryan Tannehill will play at all, but you know, they still got to settle it on the field. You got the third team offensive line as Fales comes back out. So, you know, at some point, coach is looking for one of them to separate themselves.
Jeremy Langford played 28 games for the Bears in 2015 and 16. Has not carried until right now since joining the Dolphins. Was also part of the Ravens scheme of things. Picks up 2 yards.
Remember the last game of the year down here against Buffalo? Fales played the entire game and looked really good.
So that's his experience. Note, he was a 6th round pick by the Bears back in 2014. And play action, drills it, and the pass is caught And it'll be a first down. Yes, at the 36-yard line. Ravens signaling no catch, but Gavin Escobar, former Cowboy, with the grab and a pickup of 13. Nice play.
And there we see, when you've got a clean pocket, what David Fales can do. He has a great arm, and he puts the ball on the money the majority of the time.
He was 8 of 11 for 115 against Tampa Bay and had a leg up in the backup battle at that point. Here's the screen pass to Langford, and Langford is stopped at the 41, about 5 yards shy of the first down.
Both of these guys that we're talking about, Fales and Osweiler, have been with Adam Gase and other organizations.
One with the Bears and one with the Broncos.
Chicago and Denver. Yes.
He likes some of the guys that have been with him before. He remembers what they did then, even though they weren't stars or regulars. 2nd and 5, and the quick to Drew Morgan, hit immediately, and a loss of 1 yard. That was strictly good defense by the Ravens.
Well, I mean, that's what the Ravens are built on. You know, we talk about Flacco, we talk about the offense, but the Ravens are built on solid, good defense.
Hey, they shut out the Dolphins 40-0 last year.
They had 34 takeaways last year.
3rd down and 6 from the 40, and Fales with a long shot here, and let's see, it's intercepted. It's intercepted, and down after contact was Stanley Jean-Baptiste. Rashawn Scott went for it as well, but Stanley Jean-Baptiste makes the interception, the first turnover of the game.
Let's take a look.
And guys, this looked like it should be a completion, and Rashawn Scott comes back, but he gets bumped. Good job of playing the football. That's what the Ravens do. They take the ball away. If it's underthrown, they'll make a play on the football.
He out-jumped him. Scott, receiver, should have jumped it a little sooner and got on top of the defensive back.
Well, one of the things that receivers don't get taught enough, Bob, is going up, catching the ball at the highest point. So you're jumping, but you're waiting for it to come down instead of going up high like it's a rebound to get the ball.
From the 27, here's Lamar Jackson again, and he's going to go up top as well, and incomplete, intended for Tim White, and covered by Jalen Davis. So that'll take care of the third quarter here, when the Ravens getting a couple of touchdowns and taking a 17-0 lead here in this third preseason game at Hard Rock Stadium.
Dolphins preseason football on CBS 4 is sponsored in part by Honda. Visit your local Honda dealer and experience the joy of the Honda Summer Spectacular event. By AutoNation, where you can drive pink and hell drive out cancer. Visit AutoNation.com. And by Good Grief Moving and Storage. Visit GriefMoving.com for your best move ever.
We begin the fourth quarter. The Ravens with a 2nd and 10 on the 27, and Mark Thompson with a great run, still on his feet, and Thompson almost gets to midfield. Started there at the 27-yard line. Good run by the rookie from Florida, getting 19 yards on the first play of the fourth quarter.
I think Jerome Baker's going to have to come out of the game. He's starting to cramp up. You know, he started the ball game, and he's still in there. They're trying to get him as much experience as possible.
From the 46, another completion. And another good run after the catch by Tim White. So Lamar Jackson, we've seen him run, and we've seen him throw a nice pass downfield. This is good for 31 yards.
And when you got a guy like Lamar Jackson that has this blazing speed and ability to run with the football, at what point do you drop your coverage because you're worried about him running? So you have a lot of receivers running open in the secondary.
And here is Mark Thompson, and a good play by Jordan Lucas for a loss on the play. Well, get ready for action as elite FBI agents in New York fight to keep their city and country safe. Don't miss the new drama, FBI, Tuesdays this fall on CBS, the official home of your Miami Dolphins. Well, the Ravens got from their own 27 to the 21 pretty fast, a loss on the play. So it's 2nd and 11 here from the 22, and Lance Turner doesn't get much on that play. We've seen him score. And Jordan Lucas, who made the last tackle, good penetration on this play as well.
Lamar Jackson, at this stage of his career, he's more dangerous and more successful outside the pocket than he is inside the pocket.
6 of 9 for 77 yards. He's rushed for 39, including a touchdown. Those are good numbers so far. 3rd down and 10, though, and the pass to an open receiver, and it's DeVere Posey, who, does he get in? Yes, touchdown. He was wide open down the middle, was DeVere Posey. And a 21-yard touchdown pass and run, and the Ravens quickly score. They have scored 3 touchdowns in the second half.
Three of the last 4 possessions.
And Bob, in all fairness to the Dolphins, these are the 3rd team guys, pretty much guys that probably won't be around next year. So don't get alarmed. We saw what we wanted to see out of the defense in the first half.
Yeah. And of course, you're looking at the Ravens 3rd teamers as well, but that's a fact of what you say. Vedvik for the extra point. And the kick is good, so 21 unanswered points by the Ravens, and it's a 24-10 lead in favor of Baltimore. And now it's time for tonight's Kids Camp, presented by Florida Blue.
A lot of young Dolphin fans there.
Less than 2 minutes have gone by here in this 4th quarter. Vedvik kick into the end zone, touchback, and the Dolphins will start from the 25. Here is tonight's game navigator, brought to you by Lincoln. Final preseason game at Atlanta next Thursday. 7 o'clock will be with you. And don't forget the Dolphins regular season opener September 9th against the Tennessee Titans. That's a great game because a great chance to get off on the right foot against a team that you can beat. It's not so much you say we got a high thing to climb. You don't in this game.
And Tennessee is a team that we played the last several years, so it should be a great matchup, and we got them here at Hard Rock Stadium.
First down on the 25, and Brock Osweiler is in at quarterback, and the screen pass to Jeremy Langford. Pass out on the flat, and a good run after the catch. Langford is actually knocked out of bounds at the 32 by Kai Nakua, former Cleveland Brown. It'll be 2nd down and 3. 2nd and 3. Osweiler, by the way, sacked 3 times last week, but the starting offensive line has done a solid job tonight. First quarter, first couple of series shaky, but came on later. 2nd down and 3. Here's Osweiler, and he completes it for the first down to Gavin Escobar. So 6-yard pickup to the 38.
And there we saw the strength of Osweiler as he had a would-be tackler around his leg, and he's still able to stand in there strong and deliver the football.
Well, when you're 6'7", you can do that. From the 38, Osweiler quickly out and completes it to the 45 to Malcolm Lewis. So 7 more yards, picking up good chunks. So which of the backups is going to throw his first touchdown pass? Will it be Fales or Osweiler? Neither one of them has thrown a TD pass. Tannehill got his tonight.
Tannehill's got his. Petty's got 2.
Yep. He didn't play tonight because of the oblique injury. 2nd down and 3. Or wasn't active, I should say. Play action. Osweiler had some time, and he goes out to Langford. Langford stays in bounds and gets a couple extra yards to boot, including a first down. A flag is now down from the secondary. For official discussion. Not to be confused with 4 more on the Finns. We have a 4 more on the penalty. And now a 5th comes in, an interloper coming in late. Clay, can you start again? What were you talking about? One is on the far side of the field, it looks like.
On the offensive side of the field as well.
And one from the secondary. That's the one at one side, and then there's the other on the other. There's
got a bunch of new referees.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. You
four new ones.
Yeah, 4 new ones. Yeah.
Wait for the referee.
Illegal formation, offense number 77. That 5-yard penalty will be enforced from the previous spot, and it's 2nd down. After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness on the offense. That penalty has been declined.
So Jesse Davis,
who's not on the field.
Not on the field, 77. Game.
I think they're calling
Eric
this
Smith.
on Eric Smith, number 72.
Number 72. That's close. Anytime you're within 5, you're okay.
Oh boy.
There he is. That's Eric Smith.
2nd-year player out of University of Virginia, Eric Smith, working hard to try and make this team.
You know, I talked to Coach Shula about 3 hours ago, and I asked him, I said, Coach, I said, what did you do back in the day to be the least penalized team in the league? We were the least penalized team maybe 7, 8, 10 times out of 12.
2nd down and 8. I want to hear this. Buddy Howell is the running back, but it's Osweiler gets sacked by Chris Wormley, and a loss on the play. What did he say?
He said I wouldn't put up with it. He said I wouldn't allow guys to play that were not going to do it the right way. And by that he meant if you have to cheat or you have to do something illegal to get it done, to block or to tackle, then you weren't going to play for him. And that's what he said. He was tough on him.
Discipline.
Discipline. It comes from the top. You got to just comes right down from the top.
That was a loss of 9 yards. Brings up 3rd down and 17. And Osweiler is going to go deep, double covered, and the interception is made. It was intended for Rashawn Scott and Chuck Clark returning it. So both backup quarterbacks have thrown interceptions tonight. Osweiler tried to get it deep to Rashawn Scott. It was underthrown, and the interception by Clark. Bobbled, but Clark held on to it. So the Ravens have it again and a 2-touchdown lead. There's the moon, full moon, and the Baltimore Ravens leading the Dolphins 24-10. The Dolphins had a 10-3 lead at halftime, but 3 touchdowns for the Ravens have given them a 24-10 lead, and we're going to see their 3rd quarterback of the night, Josh Woodrum. Lamar Jackson, I thought he was impressive tonight.
4 possessions, he got 3 touchdowns, 1 on a long run by him and 1 on a nice touchdown pass.
First down at midfield. Gus Edwards is the running back, and false start penalty.
False start, number 45 offense. 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
Christopher Izala. Five-yard penalty, 1st and 15 now, back to the 45. From the International Player Program, we understand. And here is Edwards with the run, picks up a couple as we send it down to Kim Bocamper.
All right, time now for Bo's Battles, presented by your South Florida BMW dealers. The battle is on at the defensive tackle position, and it's been on all during training camp. The Dolphins are going to rotate 4, maybe 5 players during the season. Jordan Phillips, we talked about him before. Devon Gottschall, rookie last year out of LSU, stepped onto the scene last year and did some big things. All of a sudden this year, another rookie from last year, Vincent Taylor, who's in his second year, has been flying around all during training camp. You saw him in on a lot of plays so they could get there. And along with Akeem Spence and recently acquired Kendall Langford in 2 games, has really made his presence felt. So you've got a lot of good quality in there. You've got a lot of good depth in there, and that rotation certainly should help this defense when it comes to their run defense. Guys?
All right, Bo, thank you very much. Meanwhile, Josh Woodrum hitting Tim White. Good run after the catch to the tune of 30 yards. And Gus Edwards with the run. So threatening again are the Ravens. Jordan Lastly with the reception.
You know, going back to Bo talking about those defensive tackles and also having 5 defensive ends with some of the rule changes with special teams, you know, I don't know if you keep 10 defensive linemen.
Yeah, that's a good question. It's not bulk you need. You need the mobility, speed, and all that. 2nd and 2. And the quick out to Jordan Lastly. He's caught 2 in a row. Diving for the end zone and out of bounds at about the 5.
You know, last year and previous years, you were able to keep a defensive tackle, defensive end, have him be a part of special teams.
This isn't good here. Maurice Smith shaken up. Excuse me.
No.
Yeah. Boy, he's been a stalwart in preseason and a good guy to have around, and so he is on the ground.
Would the clock operator please put 8:23 on the game clock? 8:23. Thank you.
So Maurice Smith, who had an interception, played well against Carolina. And I'm not sure.
Yeah, can't really tell what happened to him. And, you know, he actually ended up going over the offensive player.
Yeah, his head didn't hit anything.
He gets kicked as Lastly turns over. He actually ended up getting kneed in the rib section.
Walking off on his own power, which is a good sign, is Maurice Smith. Hey, that secondary has some depth, doesn't it?
Yes, he's done some good things. You know, the Dolphins, they've got 90 players on their roster right now. They're going to have to cut at least over 1/3 of those players. 37 players have to be
by
cut
September 1st.
after next week's game.
Right, exactly. Some will make the practice squad, some will be released, and of course, you always have to remember after that, you know, you pick up people from the waiver wire that you've been watching.
Right.
Your scouts have been watching these other preseason games that can help you and upgrade you in those positions. So it's really hard to nail down the exact roster.
Well, and they're going to be a ton. They're going to be over 1,500.
Yes, that's right.
Players out there that you're going to have to scan through.
1st and goal at the 5. Here's Gus Edwards, and good play made by Terrence Garvin. Came up to beat him strongly, and a loss of 1 on the play.
Terrence Garvin is a young man out of West Virginia, 6-year player, so he's been around this league for quite some time. Great special teams player, and you know, he's going to have a very difficult opportunity to make this football team. So he knows that each and every time he get an opportunity, he's got to flash.
Been around. Last team, of course, was the Seahawks. 2nd down goal from the 6. Josh Woodrum completes it. No, incomplete. Lastly couldn't hold on. So now 3rd and goal. Walt Aikens actually had a great shot at it, and Aikens, ace special teams performer.
Oh yeah, he is one of the key or top special team players, and you know that's how he's made this team year after year. You know, he has not been a safety. You know, you can line him up at safety, line him up at cornerback, but he's not been a starter or a second teamer at either. But because of his special team play, he continues to make the team.
3rd down and goal. Woodrum into the end zone, incomplete. And that was intended for Andre LeBron, the rookie from Virginia, Tony Lippett. Interesting with Lippett, who's coming back from the torn Achilles last August, and what kind of factor he could be.
Well, 2 years ago, he was the guy that came up with all of the big plays. You know, he's 6'2", 6'3", has great leverage. He used to be a wide receiver, so if you put the ball in his area, he's going to catch the football.
Michigan State, he came in, played well, and then he tore his Achilles.
5th round pick. So now the 24-yard field goal try by Vedvik. And Vedvik's kick is good. He's looked good as a kicker tonight in the backup role. You know, Justin Tucker, Sam Cook are going to be their main guys. It's now 27-10 in favor of the Ravens. 7:13 on the clock, 4th quarter. We're back here at Hard Rock Stadium. Time now to revisit our keys to the game presented by your South Florida Chevy dealers. And of course, Bob, we asked you about the offensive focus in this game. What does it look like?
3rd down conversions, we didn't do very well. The first 3 times we had the ball, we didn't convert on 3rd downs. The 4th and 5th time we did. Inside the 20, it was not really good, but it was a start.
Okay. That the defensive side, as Jalen Davis will run this one out, so you can think a little longer on this answer. Now you got to talk. 21-yard line.
Well, I think the defense came out and played well early on. You know, they had a penalty, but they still got the stop. You know, the key is, how is that first unit playing? And I thought the first unit played pretty good the first half. They stopped the run. They gave up no big runs until the 2nd or 3rd unit was in the ball game, and they went in at halftime, shutting them out, kept them off the board.
Yeah, I thought after the first series, maybe 2, Tannehill said that was a good one for the offense, and the defense, I thought, maybe played their best effort of the preseason. David Fales back in at quarterback, hands off to Buddy Howell. Buddy Howell has shown that he could do some things here, and Howell from FAU coming into this game, 2nd in rushing on the team, averaging over 7 yards a carry, and he had a long run of 31 as well.
He has some skills, and a kid out of Coral Gables High School that, given the opportunity, there's a lot of teams out there that will be looking for great running backs or guys that can play at this level.
You mentioned Coral Gables High School. Frank Gore started the game. For those who may have just joined us a little bit, didn't play much. Got in about 3 or 4 plays. One carry, 3 or 4 plays. and then Adam Gase got him out.
Well, that was just to appease Frank, because Frank wanted to play. Yeah. So he said, all right, I'll let you play.
Face it, he needs the experience, right?
Yeah.
We're going to give you 1 carry, and we're bringing you back out.
Yeah, we'll give you 1 shot. 3rd down and 6. Fales with the out, incomplete, trying to get it to Drew Morgan, but overthrown. And so it's 3 and out for Fales. Both Fales and Osweiler, by the way, have thrown picks in this game. And 4th down, and Matt Hawk will come in to kick away again. Tim White, the returner for the Ravens.
You know, the Ravens are a different team up front. They play the 3-4, not the 4-3. And for offensive linemen, it's a little difficult because you don't play against teams that play the 3-4 that much today.
White at the 33. Flag down, penalty marker down. And as White is down at the 33, Frank Ginda with the special teams tackle for the Dolphins. Penalty will be against the Ravens. Holding.
There's no foul for a legal block in the back. 1st down.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a good look at a young Frank Gore and his ability to run with the football. It looks just like he does today. High knee, has the ability to run away from defenders. I think that was against Northwestern. And You know, you talk to some of the players today, they said they looked at this footage on him and says, heck, that's the same Gore that we see today.
Starting running back for 12 years in the league. You see over 14,000 career yards. Just missed 1,000 by 39 last year. Turner.
Let's get him inside.
And Turner picks up about 6 yards on first down. Tackled by Jamius Pittman.
You know, it's a credit to the way he takes the game, the way he approaches the game, the way he keeps himself in good shape so that he can still play at such a high level at his age. 112 consecutive games. That's crazy.
That is something else.
Flag down on 2nd and 6. Handoff to DeLance Turner. Turner is stopped a yard short of the end zone pending the call. Offside against Miami.
Offside. Number 66 defense lined up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Quincy Redmond, Fairmont State in West Virginia.
Lined up in the neutral zone. I mean, how can that be? Is that a penalty that can be done away with? I mean, you lined up wrong.
Yep. 2nd and 1. We go to Turner. Turner, who had a 65-yard burst for a touchdown, gets a first down to the 44-yard line. Maurice Smith, after a 5-yard pickup. Good to see Smith back in the game after he came out.
You know,
briefly.
Guys, one thought. We look at the young men down here. They know that within the next 2 weeks they're probably going to be on the street. And sometimes because they're working so hard to make an impression, to do something special, you almost have to do that in these games because the way practice is now, you don't put on pads, you don't scrimmage, you don't hit. It's very difficult to flash in practice nowadays.
This is your audition. Good run by Gus Edwards to the 41. Ginda on the tackle.
That's why these games, this is like a mop-up, but this quarter and next week is all these guys are going to get an opportunity to make the squad.
Well, you're all on tape. Anything you do is on tape for people to see, and so
if you're not playing to make this team, you're playing to make some other team in the league.
Well, I think in an effort to keep players healthy and safe, there's been a lot of change about the way you can practice and how you practice. You don't go to the ground, you don't tackle. So everything is all new once you come into the football game as far as having that timing of hitting and et cetera. I feel bad for the young men that are the 3rd and 4th team that they're trying to figure out a way, how do I make an impression for them to keep me around? And even if I do well at this point, I'm playing against the number 3s. Have I really made an impression?
Well, all I know is you look at rosters and you can see where some team, and you look at their roster personnel, they say they made it, he was on a practice squad. Mm-hmm. You want to get on a practice squad somewhere, right?
You're trying to make a practice squad.
A lot of guys have been on many practice squads, and then they get a big chance to make the big team. 3rd down and 3, Gus Edwards. A yard short of the first down, I believe. And
the practice squad consists of, I think, 10 guys, and usually you have a player from every position. You have a quarterback, a running back, a receiver, an offensive lineman, defensive lineman, linebacker, DB, and then some more.
Well, and some teams go at it a little bit different. They'll go less at a position in the 53 and then go with extra for the practice squad. So, I mean, it's all different and changes.
The 2-minute warning.
2-minute warning here at Hard Rock Stadium. 24 unanswered points by the Baltimore Ravens, giving them this 27-10 lead. 2 minutes remaining in the game, and here is tonight's move of the game, brought to you by Good Greek Moving and Storage.
Just a nice pass to Amendola out in the flat, and he does the rest. A little crossing route, squares up the defender, makes him miss, and out races the second defender into the end zone, getting his first touchdown as a Miami Dolphin.
2 passes for 23 yards, and what made that significant with Amendola teaming up with Tannehill is that it was in the red zone, which the Dolphins were looking to score, and it was on a 3rd down, 3rd and 10 from the 16, and they scored. 4th down and 1, and Gus Edwards appears to have the first down, I think.
I don't think he got it.
Really?
Unless they just give it to him.
I'm not going to argue with you.
First down.
It is a first down.
Wait a minute.
What are you going to do? 1:35 and the clock moving. 1st and 10 at the 34. Dolphins had a 10-3 lead at the half, and then came the second half. DeLance Turner ran 65 yards. Lamar Jackson ran for 15. Jackson hit Posey for 21, and Ravens backups excelled tonight. And it looks like they're going to take a knee here. And while we have a moment, we would like to send our special birthday wishes to former longtime CBS 4 Dolphins tech manager Spears Malice. Spears is merely 95 years old today. He's home watching with his family.
God bless you.
Yes, Spears. A special order of candles is on its way. 95. That's a lot of candles for you, Spears.
Hello,
Congratulations.
Spears.
Congratulations.
Oh, yes. We should be so lucky. And I lost a good friend today. I went to a funeral for a guy that is synonymous with golf here in South Florida, especially junior golf. And Bob, you probably know him, Jim Kiley, gentleman that
yes,
he is the silhouette for the tag of the junior golf tag that now junior golf is staying afloat because of the money that's produced. So
tough day for you, and I know a good friend of yours.
Yes, he is, and also a good friend of all the golfers here in all of South Florida.
Well, this game's history, the highlight was Kiko Alonso wanting to play for the Ravens in the middle of the game, going over to their sideline. He was rejected by them, and he came back and he made some great plays for the Dolphins defense. The first team Dolphins did pretty well. So the final score here at Hard Rock Stadium, the Ravens win it by a score of 27-10. They go to 4-0 in preseason. The Dolphins are now 0-3 with 1 to go in Atlanta.